Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to Bots and Kits. Hey, please subscribe if you like robot model kits and toys and stuff like that, and occasional art doll or toys, crazy stuff. Please subscribe because it just makes me feel good. I don't even know why I ask, honestly. I'm a grown man, I have a job. But anyway, today I'm going to be talking about something I'm actually super excited, but also a little bit ambivalent. Not ambivalent, is that the word? I'm a little bit nervous about, maybe? I don't know. This is another Scopedog kit. So, if you know me and you know my history with Scopedog, you might know kind of where I'm going to go with some of this. This is the Wave Toys 124 scale, which is kind of funny, and I'll show you why it's 124 scale and why that's kind of funny in just a second here. But there's a lot of good and a lot of bad to say about this. Not bad, but pricing and stuff. You'll know where I'm going to be going with this. If you want to skip to the negative stuff, quote unquote, you can go to the end. Again, not knocking it or anything like that, because I do love Scopedog. And I just realized I think I forgot a part on her. Anyway, I'll talk about that in a second. Where did I forget that part? Oh my god. Anyway, so Scopedog, as you know, is an older anime. I can't remember the designs. I'm going to be linking in the, probably pin them in the comments or put in the description. All my previous Scopedog videos, I've done two or three others. And I've always had a bit of a love-hate relationship with Scopedog. Love the design. It's one of my favorite designs of all time. I think Scopedog, for a lot of people, is an amazing original IP. I don't know that the anime is received as amazingly as others, but I've watched a lot of it. I enjoy it, but I don't really watch a lot of anime. I need to sit down one day and just really kind of go through all the Scopedog. I've been going through Astro Boy because I really love Astro Boy. It's a very, very cute and sweet and wonderful anime. OG anime. So let's talk about this. So this is 124 scale, which is interesting to me real quick because here's the pilot. I did not put the pilot inside, and I'll show you the interior in a second. I think this is probably a case of like, that's pretty good. This is a Hexagear Governor, which is, let me get some better lighting in here, which is 124 scale. So I don't know, I think that's pretty, actually, that's pretty good. I think that Hexagear might be doing what like a Warhammer does and stuff and kind of heroifying their scale a little bit. They're kind of scaling up a little bit. What that means is that these are the same. If these were in the same universe, these would both be 124 scale. So Hexagear's guy might be a little taller, a little bit more heroic looking. They're supposed to be kind of, well, actually, I don't know if governors are kind of ordinary humans. I want to say that they're kind of heroic, like superhumans or something. These pilot guys and girls are ordinary people who get shot and killed all the time. So that could explain that. But the interior I'll show you in a second is a little bit off for that. This is 125th scale, which should be technically smaller looking. 125. The smaller the number, 124, 123, 120. 115, all that is, the lower the number goes, the larger the character will be. So if this is 125 and this is 124, this should be smaller. So I have a feeling Joy Toy here is probably really heroifying their pilots. But anyway, that's the pilot. It's got some nice detail. I did not assemble it or put it in there yet because it's kind of, we'll talk about the monocolor here that you're seeing, which is kind of annoying. But it's kind of, the interior of the Scopedog is really the best part, really one of the best parts of the Scopedog. Everybody loves that part. Everybody talks about that part and why that's important. So I didn't want to just stick that person in there unpainted. You can remove it, I think, pretty easy because of that, but we'll talk about that in a minute. You get some extra hands. The hands are great. Now, bear in mind, I build these ultra fast. So if you see any mistakes, whatever, that's probably my bad. If you take your time and you really work on the nub marks and you really paint this up well, it will look even better. So always keep that in mind. I build my kits really quick for review because I have a lot to get through. Hands are really nice and solid. The weapon is fantastic. I like the old school look of it. You've got the nice ammo case here. This can actually detach. These parts can detach and you can attach a smaller part, which I kind of prefer that one, but at the same time, it's kind of nice to have the stock or whatever on it. And you've got some other options with this goes in the front. It can also be like a stubby. Let me see. I think you can pull that off like this. Kind of does a stubby thing. Now, I could be getting some of this wrong, so feel free to tell me. So you can make a completely different looking gun, which I think is kind of interesting. Maybe that's like a flamer looking gun. I don't know. Again, I don't know the anime that much, so feel free in the comments to mansplain everything, or womansplain, or they splain everything in here. I love that stuff because that's how I learn. I did not put the water slides on. I do not completely build these kits like that because I often do customs. If I put the water slides on and stuff and I want to do a custom later, then it's not really gonna. It's just going to be more trouble. The manual is great. As usual, you can see what it can do. Somebody tell me, though, I've always said this with Scopedogs, what is the purpose of this? Now, I know the purpose is for the pilot to be able to bend down. And by the way, they have this fantastic, it looks like the original kind of, I love that style, kind of Dugram looking, just so cool. Really, really nice. Let's see here. You know, when it bends down, oh, there's some of the weapons, which is ironic. You don't get the weapons that they're talking about here for $70 freaking dollars. So there's the interior. You can see how good it can look with some painting and stuff like that. Again, I did not do it. But look, why does it bend down to do that? Because once it bends down, the pilot gets in. How does it get up? The center of gravity is right here. How are we supposed to get up? Does it use its arms and kind of help push it? I don't know. Somebody explain that to me, because that seems 110% impractical to me. And also, if you notice, this is another great thing about Votoms, is they have these little handholds. So he or she or they or whatever just obviously climb in. So let's look at the kit a little bit. So I saw this advertised, not advertised, but Zach Aurelius did it for USA Gundam Store and said what a fantastic kit it is. You should probably take his opinion over mine. I've built hundreds of kits. He's probably built 1,000 or more, I bet. He's a really good custom artist and stuff like that. Really good, so take his word over mine. But I really didn't see the vision of it being a good kit until I had fully really kind of assembled it. But having said that, my issue with this kit, as is with all Votoms kits I've ever gotten, is the quality per pound, or the what you're paying for with these kits. I can't believe I forgot one of the eyes though. What is that? Did I forget? Let me see. What did I assemble these sometimes during work, and what part did I forget? Look right there. Oops, sorry. Did I forget something? I think I forgot an extra lens or something. Maybe I threw the part away. Oh my gosh. Anyway, I'll look into that. For the price, and to be fair, let me look up how much this was. Hang on. Okay, I just looked real quick on BBTS. On sale, 20% off, $80. 80 freaking dollars. Normally $100. Now I didn't pay that. I paid the 70. That's the only reason I grabbed it, is because it was on sale. What's also kind of strange, if you look on the BBTS listing, it says it's 4-point-something inches tall, which it is not. I found that really strange. I need to email. Maybe they got the listing incorrectly or something like that. I thought maybe the boxes, you can see it's closer to 6.5, 6 inches or whatever. So I don't know what that's about. Even the OG one, or the other one I'll show you here in a minute, it's not that tall. So the question is, does this kit do everything you want a $70 kit to do compared to other $70 or in that price range kits? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Now, I'm going to go back. This is the only criticism, and as I'm talking about pricing, okay? I'm not talking about the quality, which we'll talk about here in a minute, but I want people to understand this because people ask, should I buy it or not? I always go over that. So what I have here is I have the Bandai, this disgusting little kit. I like the kit as what it is. This should have been $30, $25. They're what, 40? So what we have here is we have Bandai's take on it, on a Scopedog, which is a great little fun kit. Somebody explained it to me. It's a good way for people to get kind of a smaller scale Votoms and kind of use it, have that smaller scale, access to that smaller scale, which I agree. This one here on the far right is, I can't remember who makes this one. This is an older kit. I've got, whoa, you see her falling? I'm actually going to take her. She's fallen twice off my shelf. I built her 7 years ago, 8 years ago, something like that. Absolutely love the kit. What a fun, great kit. Now you can get them new. This is the Brutish dog. I think she's a little cheaper because she's the pinkish color. I want to refurb this one. I want to take it apart, do a proper paint job on it. I will link the video review, my full-on ranting video about this one in the comments. I'm afraid she's going to fall. over the years she's gotten, I mean, you can see how loose the arm has gotten. And I think I paid, in the video, I say I paid 50 to $60, which is so laughable. I was talking about how expensive it might have been. And I was like, I haven't moved into the $100 range. I'd spend that all the time. So this is a good timeline or comparison of different kits. What made this one so gross to me was that not the kit. The kit is, I think, fun for what it is. It's a small scale, interesting Votoms. The gimmicks of Votoms are what makes Votoms Votoms. Yes, the design is important, but the gimmicks are what makes it important. The number one gimmick, everybody knows, is the interior. This one has a fantastic, I'll give it credit, of course, it has a fantastic interior. I always gripe and always laugh about the thinness of the armor on the sides. It's not reality, though. This is just for fun. I love having these discussions. This would be way too weak. It would bend just using the arms picking up a weight would bend this metal. Unless this is some kind of super space age metal, which in the anime, they're always getting shot with bullets through it. The interior is fantastic. This little poop drawer here, whatever they call it, a feet stink drawer, passing food in here. I'm not sure what this is. Ventilation for farts. I don't know. That works fine. Everything's pretty tight, but that is what you want. You want that amount of detail. And I'll compare it to this OG one, which is, I love. You have to lift up and then up. You don't just swing it up. You can see the detail in there is fantastic. Again, the armor on the sides is way too thin, but that's kind of the fun part about Votoms. So this is really fragile, so I'm not going to mess with her much. As you can see, she's missing bits. I have the bits. I've just got to glue her back together. See, she's barely going to stand. So the interior is the gimmick. This didn't even have the interior. You can't lift that up unless you buy a separate, something like $30 or $40 kit from P Bandai. That is so mind-bogglingly stupid to me. I am not the kind of person to gripe in that way. I'm not making it personal to the designers or the company. I absolutely love Bandai and I love Votoms. But that is so ridiculous that you put out a $40, $30, $40, $50 kit, whatever these are, and then you add on the interior for a P Bandai exclusive. It's so ridiculous. That's gimmick number one. Gimmick number two are these fantastic... Oops. Let me close her back up because if she falls... Gimmick number two are these fantastic feet spikes. They use these because they roll around on these heelys. These are like heelys that the kids use in the mall. They ride around on them, and then they put that spike in and it helps it just... It's like a brake. It's pretty silly, that spike, but it's also super cool because that can be a weapon. It can be whatever. It's just a fun, practical, quote-unquote, use of a spike. You just throw that spike in the ground and you can spin on it. Of course, the OG kit has it, as it should. Again, I'm not going to manipulate her too much. Now, let's get into where we start getting into the flaws. Now, this was 50 or 60 years ago, so let's just put it at its current price, which is a resale kind of price, or like a kind of a jacked up price of $100 for this big kit here, right? So for $100, you get basically all the gimmicks. You get the scopes that move, you get the thing comes up, you get this, the interior, you get the spikes. I believe you even get the extendable punchy arm, which to me is a silly... by the way, I have all the parts. Don't worry, I'm going to reassemble her. You get this cool gun. I believe she came with a gun and stuff. I can't remember. I'd have to look back at the old kit. She has her backpack. Notice these two do not have a backpack. I don't know if that's a design. Oh, and I have this back flap. Don't worry. So everything you want comes with this big, beautiful pink kit. I'm thinking of getting another one instead of refurbing that one. Maybe just buying a new one. This one, you start to see the degradation of the inclusion of things that make Scopedog. Interior, spikes, backpack, wheels. This one has moving wheels on the bottom. For $100, you get wheels that do not move. Boy, I sound like I'm just ranting about politics. That's what's fun about toys. You'll have to forgive me. And don't take it personally if you think this is the best kit in the world. It's not an insult to anybody. The wheels do not move. They're static, right? So you don't get that fun gimmick. The wheels don't move on these. They're static. They're just a half, you can kind of see in there. They're just kind of stuck in there, right? So degradation, slowly losing part, and until you get to this little guy, it has almost none of the gimmicks that make Scopedog. All the design, but what we're seeing here is the kind of extra charge just for a cool design. To me, that is so out of step with modern modeling, and it's so... Granted, this is a very old IP. There's probably expensive licensing fees, whatever. I understand all that, but that's how cool designs like this, I think, eventually, and cool kits like this eventually get relegated to the past, because I'm telling you right now, all of these are made in China. I'm sure China and original IPs from China will rule the modeling world within 5 to 10 years, if not sooner. And not only will they rule the modeling world, but they'll rule with model kits that need no nippers, no touch-up, no painting if you don't want. So that at the very base, some of those original IP Chinese kits are going to come out and be better than what, and cheaper than what you can find in stuff like this. I don't know what's going on there other than a miracle. So let's talk more. Now that we've kind of compared, and I'll compare it some more. Actually, you know what? I'm going to keep comparing so I can get the comparisons out of the way. So this is 70. This amazing model kit from Blockies was $40. It has lights and sound. Now, granted, it's not, I know this is not a one-to-one comparison. This is a different thing if this isn't your vibe. But I'm just showing what can be done. $40, lights and sound. It ejects the cassette. It comes with additional characters that you get with all that for $40 with a snap together. You just pop it off of the sprue with your hands. No paint required, no stickers required. And it is a different thing. Look, each individual finger here moves. These are static. See that? This has wheels that don't move. This has lights and sound and a cassette that ejects. You know, I'm not, again, this is not saying that Wave is as big, you know, should be able to afford what Blockies can, or that Votoms is as big as Transformers, because it's not anywhere large as Transformers. Transformers, the IP is massively, probably one of the biggest in the world, period, other than Gundam and some G.I. Joe, stuff like that. It's massive. So that was $40 freaking dollars. You can find this on sale for Black Friday. I saw one of these for $16. It's insanity. Insanity. So let's move that off the side. Next, we have this big guy, which I think these are 70, but they're under $100. This is the, see, I can't even fit it on the screen. This is the Figurized Standard, what's it called? Let me get him in the shot. You've seen him before. Amplified Digimon kits. I've got another one I'm building right now. This is an insanely fun, easy build. Same level of build difficulty, but the details, just look at the details. Granted, Votoms does not have, by typical design, those details, but modern Votoms are starting to add more. You'll see modern takes. Go watch the Wonder Festival videos. Link to some of those. In the modern Votoms kits are catching up to like this level of detail, but that was less than this one, right? Insanity. It kind of drives me crazy. So next we have, then we have this guy. As many of you know this kit. This is the Destroy Gundam. Same price, $100. Now, granted, this was 70 on sale, but this is about $100. This is not my favorite kit by any means, but I just like big giant shelf pieces. This transforms. The transformation is stupid. Who cares about that? Individual fingers, tons of detail, gimmicks out the wazoo. Same price. Again, larger IP. I understand all that, but what I'm saying is that while Votoms are very cool, no one can explain to me why they are so insanely expensive for what you get. Next, just the last comparison here, just for fun. And if you want to skip this part, feel free to go to the end and tell me I suck or whatever. I don't whatever. This monstrosity from Bandai. This is, of course, your same price. It's about 115, 120. I got her for 100. This was 100 before discount. It's now 70. Now that, granted, tariffs and stuff, so I'd have to see how much is. But even then, you can see the Mazinger kit. Just the difference. I haven't even done anything with this because it's such a shelf piece. It's just so fun. See, I grew up on Shogun Warriors when I was a kid. That's related to Mazinger, blah, 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 blah. And this was almost a perfect size comparison and everything to Shogun Warriors. I'm still going to get an original 70s Shogun Warriors, I'm sure, at some point. So let's take that away. So that's just a comparison. It's not saying that Votom's wave kits or wave kits or whatever should be all that, because they can't, they're a smaller company, possibly, maybe they can't afford to produce all that. But for this to be $100 is ridiculous. So now, having said all that, we'll look some more at the details. You get the normal posability that you get. You get the standard build features. It's just got a basic waist like all of them do. It does all the crunches and stuff like that. This is always a fun part, this little flap back here that, kind of covers the joints. I don't know why they wouldn't really have some more coverage over there. So the design is occasionally kind of a little bit questionable, but still, one of my favorite looking mechas of all time. I don't know why you don't get a backpack. See the hooks? You get a little backpack. You get a backpack on the big lady over there. I don't know why they didn't provide a backpack for $100. Again, another missing thing. I'm not going to go through all the it bins here. It does that because I hate that stuff in videos. I skip it. But I mean, it does pretty well. The joints are nice and tight, and it does have a really nice quality build once it's all assembled. But consider this: there's not even any undergating in this kit. So if you don't know what undergating is, I explain it every time, but just in case. You've got parts here that are molded. They're on the side, so the mold is injected on the side of the piece. So when you cut it off, click, you've got to then take a razor and cut off the excess, or you might be left with a nub mark, which I can show you probably 400 on this kit. It's looking pretty good for not having, for me just to build it really quick. There's one there on the foot. So you get this little nub mark that shows where you cut it off the sprue. So that's where the injection was. For a $100 kit of this size, you should have had bottom injecting, or what am I, undergating, where they basically, instead of shooting on the side, they shoot it from underneath. So they would come from underneath. You can clip it off on the bottom, the part that doesn't show to the public, and then you don't have to worry so much about the nub marks. And then when you assemble a kit, you see almost no nub marks. I can't remember if this little guy was undergated or not. No, you see he's got some. So again, for the price, why wasn't there undergating? I don't know. But it does look really good. I love the kind of brighter green next to the army green. I can't believe I forgot a little bit there. I don't know. I'm going to have to look at that. Did I do something wrong? I think I did something wrong. It's just a Votoms kit. There's not much else to say about it. You can do all the cool poses. The legs will bend and do all you really need. They don't go crazy like a lot of model kits do these days, where you can do every pose in the world, but that's fine. It's supposed to kind of resemble an old school tank in a way. It's not supposed to be, how modern day kits are like Ninja Warriors who can do a kick flip and stuff like that. These antennae, I have to say, drive me kind of crazy. On almost every kit I've ever built of the Votoms, I break them because if they fall, they snap right off. I wish they would make them out of a rubber. See, hers are gone, but they're somewhere. I have them in the box. They make them I wish they made them like out of a rubberized thing. And here's the thing. They can do that because they do this part here, right here. You can't see that right there. Those are little rubberized pieces. Why not make the antenna out of those? So that if that sucker falls, which they are bound to fall, and to get, at some point you're going to drop your model kit or hurt it. Hopefully not, but and then that would not snap. That would simply bend. And also, big long antenna and stuff like that are often floppy and can bend a little bit. So if they go under branches or something, it bends. That's why you see those big floppy ones on tanks and stuff. So it's a great looking kit. Don't get me wrong. I really thought the build was fine. Nothing surprising. I've built a million. I mean, it is a fantastic kit. I'd say of these three, especially this old one, that really the quality was kind of falling apart at the beginning. It's not the sturdiest kit. Of all three of these, now I haven't built Wave's newest Votom kits, which are a little bit larger. The other Scopedog, the blue one. This is the best one, but it's the most modern. Well, I mean, this is modern too. This is, of this scale, I think this is a perfect size and kind of representation of Scopedog. So if you like it, cool. I'm just saying, for the price, as usual with Votoms, it's completely ridiculous. 100% ridiculous. I don't know why they charge so freaking much. Somebody explain it to me. I've had viewers, people who come to my videos and explain it's because of the licensing. That's how much they charge. I don't care about that. There's no excuse. There's no excuse for this. I'd say this: if you really want a cool Votoms kit and you want to pay $100, $80 to $100, go for it. You're going to get one that, as you can see, is not really that large even, but it is a great looking kit. that I guarantee will eventually loosen up over time. But at first, I mean, this quality is there. It's not mind-boggling quality. It's not like B-Duck. B-Duck was $50 and is twice the size, and the quality of the plastic is 100 times better. But and you still getting your nub marks and everything. You're not even doing undergating for all that for $100. It's absolutely not worth it. But if you're a Votoms fan and you really are just dying for a kit, go for it. Go for it. Just get it on sale. Don't pay more than $100. It's ridiculous. Anyway, that's me griping about Votoms for a while. I love this design. It's one of my favorite designs. But as I always say, I'm not saying that it shouldn't cost money. But if you're going to build a Votoms kit, stop taking out the details. Put all the details in it. Doesn't even have to be the size. It could be this size even. Charge the $100, $150, whatever it has to be. Just put all the details, wheels that roll, the backpack, everything. More gun. In the instruction manual, it has bazookas and it doesn't have a bazooka with it. It's just like, what are we doing? I'm not saying it's a rip-off, but I'm saying that it's an attempt to kind of rub your nose in it a bit. It's kind of disgusting. Great kit otherwise. Enjoy, everybody. Bye.